Good morning. Oh, it's Monday morning, October 21st. Kind of crazy. So, I officially finished my market samples. I say that loosely because I don't know what is going to come, but if it's going to come, it better come quick because I fly out on Thursday. But I was happy that at 8 o'clock last night, I put the last stitch in the last binding that I needed to get done. I taught at the Spokane Quilt Show on Friday and Saturday, which was really fantastic. They need to work out a few kinks, I think, but the classrooms were a really nice size. Everything was pretty well organized, but there's always a learning curve to these types of things. And the show is always really nice because I know several people and locals, obviously. So when you go through, you have a lot of friends and whatnot to talk to. So that's always nice. And of course, the quilts are always great. I just love quilts like most of us. So for me, any sort of quilt show where I can go and kind of peruse and see everybody's take on quilting and how they maybe change the colors on this, or they have this spin-off idea of that, or whatever I just think is inspiring and creative. And I love all of that. Well, I just love the whole process, honestly. And I did spot some of my own patterns that people have picked up along the way and made, which I always feel like a little bit of excitement, just to see my stuff out in the wild and how other people, what colors they chose and the different things. So I always think that that's fun. And so, yeah, overall, great experience, and just so thankful that we have this opportunity so close to home. I think that that's just a big blessing. Okay, we have some trolls again, which is not great. Um, Good morning, Jenna. So the Quilter's Corner, uh, and um, so I'm have another interview this afternoon with a company, so I'm awaiting for that. I have I'm starting a big project that I can't talk about yet, but um, Rob and I are going to go on Wednesday. He's taking some time off of work and he's going to help me sort of initiate that first step of that project. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And so it's kind of like a big test. We have to go and kind of do some filming and figure out our rhythm. And I think it's going to be a huge learning curve, but we are up for the challenge. Rob did get the mini split in. He still has to kind of do some last minute things. He keeps changing plans halfway through of how he wants to execute a plan, and he never kind of this is part of his ADD. It just drives me bonkers, but he might have to go to the store 3 times to get this different bolt or that different bolt or whatever, and he doesn't have that capability, and I've just kind of learned to live with it. I try to help him as much as I can, like, okay, let's go buy all of the paint, let's go buy all of the this. Are you going to need this? Let's get this, because we can't just like afford to drive into town every time that he like the big town. Every time that he forgets something, we do have a couple of hardware stores here in town for little things, but um, through all of the years of us living in a small town, he still doesn't kind of understand that we need to like kind of think ahead on some things. And it was a little bit different in Ephrata because we had um, a Walmart in town, and that carried a lot of things. So there was a little bit extra cushion there. We don't have that here. So, um, good morning, Deborah. And she says, love the colors in your quilts and learning from you. Thank you, Deborah. That's really nice. So we have all of that going on, and he's going to be working on the mudroom. It's raining profusely today. But he also has to, he left one of the faucets that we use to water the chickens a few weekends ago. Not this last weekend, but the weekend before, we did the bulk of our winterizing, and he left one that we used to water the chickens, and anyway, it froze and blew out the faucet. So he has to replace that frost-free faucet. And he's now hopefully learned his lesson on that because it just kind of really happens here pretty quickly. So, Rita, hi, good morning. So the inspirational quote for today, the Motivational Monday quote, I sort of went with more inspirational rather than motivational because I don't know, I kind of feel like I'm running out of motivational quotes. They all kind of seemed the same to me this week. But where flowers bloom, so does hope. And I love that because flowers can really bloom anywhere, even if it's a dandelion. It'll like bloom right through that little crack in the sidewalk, won't it? So we can have hope for everything. I was kind of catching a little bit of the news this morning, and my heart just broke seeing, so many things. They were talking about the hurricane victims and all of the things going on there. And, we have friends there. And my aunt survived in Florida with minimal damage. So that's really good. But all of the people that have lost everything, and I mean, it's just completely devastating. We don't have hurricanes and floods like that, but we have wildfires in our neck of the woods, and the rain today is just like reassurance for us that we were making it through a season without wildfires. And that is, I mean, who knows? I mean, I can't predict anything, but this late in the season and starting to get rain means that we're probably, maybe out of the woods a little bit, but it's still pretty dry here. So, but last year it was so devastating for our area. We had millions of acres go up between the two fires on the edges of town. And, so kind of comparable to what's happening down there. And it's just to work our whole lives, to have our roots, all of those things, and to lose everything, whether it's your livelihood, everything that you own, it's just unfathomable. And I don't even know how to wake up and deal with that. And, um, we are resilient people, but just seeing it on the news is anyway. So where flowers bloom, so does hope. I think we need to have a little bit of hope right now, not get down about that because it's not going to help anything. And, um, but it just seems, weird to carry on my life sometimes when some of these tragic things happen. And, I give a little prayer. I donated to the relief fund, and, I don't know what else I can really do other than those things. And it still feels like I, you know, hopeless, but I want to give hope. Anyway, so back to quilting because that's a better subject, really. And good morning, Venetia. So the fourth block for Little Pink Homestead has dropped. The little barn chicks. I love the little barn chicks. I love all the little dresses that I've seen so far with everybody making those. And that's really adorable. And I have a new quilt tutorial dropping on Friday, which will be Christmas Fest. If those of you who are watching, you get a little sneak. You get to see what's coming ahead. And Christmas Fest is just a really cute quilt, and it is really fast to put together, honestly. It's a lot faster than you might think, and it's block based. So, and there will be a discount on the pattern when the tutorial drops. So if you wanted to get that little quilt done before Christmas, you have plenty of time because it does go together pretty quickly, and it's fat quarter friendly. So you can just grab some prints and do that, but it's a really fun, fast, and one of the local quilt shops made it, and she used flannels and different teals and whatnot, and it turned out so adorable. So I would say switch up the colors, use your stash, do whatever. It'll work out great, and you'll have plenty of time to get it done before Christmas. So, and Rita says, we live in South Louisiana, so every year we pray hurricanes stay away from us and all. That's pretty similar to how we feel about wildfires in our neck of the woods. And so my heart goes out to you, Rita. And this was so devastating. I mean, they say it's the worst one since Katrina, and, all of the people who have lived through both of those, I just can't even imagine. In fact, when my aunt was giving us the updates, my husband and I were waking up because she lives in Bradenton, Florida, and she was giving the updates pretty regularly, hourly. And then once they had been in the eye, it was pretty late here. We had gone to sleep, but I was waking up, pretty much every hour and a half. And once 3 o'clock in the morning hit here, she wasn't giving the updates. And then I was so scared. My husband got up for work at, a little bit after that. And I woke up and he said she hasn't updated. And I was just like, oh my gosh, And so anyway, I finally called because I thought I just have to know. And she was fine, thank God. But I just told her, come back home. Like, you don't need to be there. And this is ridiculous, but, and their windows are boarded up still because I guess another one is coming. I don't think it's supposed to be as bad, but I don't know. Everyone just sort of gets into the groove and knows what they're doing down there. And, so I don't know. She loves living near the ocean, and she loves it down there, and she likes the hot weather, and I don't know. I guess if she, wants to do that, then that's her prerogative. So not everybody wants to live in 8 feet of snow in the Pacific Northwest. And I don't particularly mind the snow. I can't say that I love driving in it. Honestly, I just don't want, I just kind of won't go out after dark. And if I do, I just go very slow. And I realized that first year living here that most people kind of hate driving around me because I am like beyond grandma slow. I'm just so worried about the roads and um so I don't know. It is what it is. We all make adjustments according to where we live and what we have to do. So um I just think when it snows like that, that I just have more time to stay in my studio and sew and, I don't have to go out. This time of year is interesting because in October, our grocery store does what's called case sales. So if you buy a case of canned vegetables or a case of pasta or a case of whatever they have on, you get a really good price. So they bring in pallets of stuff and you just buy them by the case. And so we stock up on food in October, and then I probably won't go grocery shopping until February or March because I might go for a Christmas thing, but when my kids come for Christmas, if there's some last minute things, but we don't do a traditional Christmas dinner. We do a Mexican themed dinner. So we do like tamales and all that stuff. And we have a tamale day in November where we make all of the tamales and then freeze them. And then, we just have like rice and beans and salsa and, those sorts of things. And so I might go get like the fresh avocado and, whatever we need for that. But I don't go grocery shopping other than that. And so I make everything that I've canned or processed during the summer. And then that case sale in October lasts through 5 or 6 months of the winter months so that I don't have to go out just in case because we've been stuck here on our own property, not being able to get in and out. And, just all we have generators in case the power goes out. Like you have to be prepared for all of that stuff. So the same way that, my aunt prepares by boarding up windows and doing all of that, we have the same thing here. But I just put provisions in place so that we never have to worry about water or having something to eat. We always have all of that kind of stuff on hand. So it's just, I think country living, I think that's like part of that whole mindset of you just don't know if you're going to get trapped for a long period of time. So you need to make sure that you have all of those things in place. And, some people will make fun of you because you're a prepper or whatever, but when a tragedy happens and or you're stuck, then it's nice to have that stuff. So, and it's good on the budget. So you learn a different way of surviving, basically. And Quilty Bird Piecing, Alicia says, I love your shirt. Thank you so much. I just got this. I ordered it and it took a while for it to come in, but just a girl who loves Jesus and chickens. And as you know, I love my chickens and Jesus. So, thank you. So, what else do we have going on this week? Really nothing because market is taking up the most of my week. So, I have not ever been to Houston. I've been to market as a kind of just a long arm quilter. I was able to get credentials to go into market here, well, not here, in Portland. That was closer to where I lived before. And so I did go there in spring, but everyone says that fall market is the best. Houston is the best. And so I'll be there. I'm only kind of popping in. I fly in on Thursday. I am doing a schoolhouse on Friday, and then I'll work in the Timeless Treasures booth, which is 1224 on Saturday, and then I fly home on Sunday. So I'm kind of just like popping in and popping out. And but it's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit because, well, that public speaking, all of that stuff. But I've never done a schoolhouse before. So my fabric company wanted me to do a schoolhouse and launch, some of my stuff. And so you could have 5 people in there, or you could have 150 people in there. You just don't know. And so that's, you know, scary. And so my marketing director and I were going over these things last week of, kind of what we're going to do. She'll be in there with me the whole time, and they'll be giving away fabric bundles and different things during all of that. And then I'll be giving things away in the booth, different fabric bundles and whatnot. So it should be a really fun time. And but still, when you're giving a presentation and you just don't know, like, do even 5 people know who I am? do How many people are going to be there? You just don't know. And so it'll be a surprise. I'll fill you all in when I get back and let you know how it goes. And Barbara says, good morning from Spokane. It doesn't matter if we drive grandma slow in the winter. We just have to watch out for others. Yes, we did dodge the fires and smoke this year, and have a good week. Thank you, Barbara. Yes, I don't mind going grandma slow myself. And I feel like we did dodge the fires, which is really a fantastic thing. We had so much devastation last year. So I just don't want to. I keep seeing in all of my local groups, all of these people say, when are they lifting the burn ban? When are they lifting the burn ban? And so many people are saying, we don't care. It's too dry still. Do not burn, because all of our fields are really dry. So you just don't want to burn too early. One idiot could, take away millions of dollars of homes and livelihoods. So, but it is starting to get cold out. Fall has definitely set in here. We did have a night of frost and freezing, and it's been a little chilly outside. So it's official. But I went to my local grocery store to buy an extra thing of pumpkin spice, and they were gone. I think I told you guys that last week. And so I feel still a little bummed about that. But I have been drinking some hot tea. So that just seems a little bit fallish, right? I mean, I drink hot tea a lot at night, but I even took some hot tea to church yesterday. It just seems like it was comforting and whatnot. So yeah. What else do we got here? I'll take some pictures. I'll be sharing stuff along the way while I'm at market to kind of show you guys the like background or the underbelly, or how do you see the behind the scenes? Sorry, I was trying to think of. And Rita says, thought this year I wanted to go to Houston, but other commitments came up. Our guild friends bus there yearly. Oh, really? Well, I hear next year they're changing it to the first week of October. So I am happy about that, I guess, in one way, because, so many years I was offered the opportunity to go to Quilt Market and I never went because it was always the week of Halloween and I just wasn't going to like leave my kids on a holiday. And I hear that from a lot of designers. So not having it on Halloween, I think, is a great thing for moms, because obviously there's a lot of women involved in quilting. I mean, I'm not discounting the men, but it's just a common thing for us. And, but I am concerned because it takes, we get our sample yardage at the beginning of the month to make a quilt and, or make more than one quilt typically. But if we're going to have to move all of our systems up by a month to get all of the things that we need done before our market if it's moved up a month. So I'm very interested to see how all of that is going to shake out next year with a big shakeup like that. But I do think it's probably a good thing for those of us who have young kids. I don't anymore, but I have grandkids, and I'm probably not going to give up that time either. So next Halloween we'll be there for first Halloween, and I want to be there for that. So Rita says, oops, and oh my gosh, good and bad results. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, but the show that everybody's kind of talking about that is making waves right now is H&H, which is in spring in Chicago, and that seems to be the show that a lot of people are excited about. They're doing a lot of fabulous things, like they have an app, and they kind of like are doing things to spur on to create ways for people to work together and collaborate, and I think that's a really good thing. I think that that's a lot of the reason that we have these big shows, trade shows and whatnot, is because of those collaborations and ways to get people together and work together, because we none of us can do it alone, and we all need each other to sort of the whole ship to rise, type of a deal. And so I don't know, I'm excited to see all of the changes that are made, and what is happening from here. I was thinking about this yesterday because I sort of started my design business, and it started kind of taking off and right at 2020, and 2020 seems like it was yesterday. And in fact, it's almost 5 years ago. It was such a difficult time for so many of us that there's like life before COVID and then life after COVID. And, but it still kind of stings so much, and we're still like repairing from the damage of all of that. To think that it was almost 5 years ago is just mind-boggling to me, because it does not seem like it was 5 years ago. It seems like it was like yesterday, really. And how many of us are still like so affected by that? My daughter didn't get a graduation, and she didn't get to go to prom, and she didn't get to do so many of these things because she was of that. And so many things that I was working on, and then, no spring market, no fall market, no, we sort of like time just sort of froze for a while, and nobody knew what was going to happen. And we're all of the social ramifications of it, everything, like so many things. There's no way to quantify all of the stuff that we have gone through, the things that have changed. And but to think that it was 5 years ago, we were like, I remember the like rumblings this time of year of all the stuff that was happening. And we had kind of heard about this virus that was there. And I don't know, it is just stunning to think that that was 5 years ago. So, okay, I'm caught up on everything. Well, we're about 30 minutes in, and I am excited to come back next Monday. I'll fly in Sunday, so I'll still be here next Monday, and I'll kind of give you like the rundown of the show and tell you about my experience. So stay tuned for that, and um it'll probably be much more interesting than today's episode because I didn't have a whole lot to share. And I feel like I was a little bit depressing because I was talking about COVID and the hurricane victims. But next time, I'm not going to watch the news right before I get onto a live because I think that just like was really kind of a downer. But we're going to just like think about where flowers bloom, so does hope. Like throughout all of this, I think that a lot of great things will come of it because, you know, God can just do great things despite all of our worldly circumstances. And some great innovations and things will probably come out of this despite all of the heartache and loss. And um, so I'll just think about that. And so I hope you guys have a good week. And thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate all of the support and love that you guys all offer. So thank you. Bye.